Let's take a quick look at some results. So basically for this ad, what we did is exactly what I'm going to show you in the next part of the video, how to go quickly set up just a plain lead generation campaign. If you're a local business, if you're trying to get clients in your local area, this strategy will work for you. It's super simple to do. You don't need any software. You can go and do this yourself. Let me quickly show you how it's done. But before we go on, let me quickly show you some results here. So basically for this client, what we did is we set up a very, very simple lead generation campaign. As I said, you can do this yourself. I'll quickly give you a run through how to do it. So basically, if you look at the stats for this client, just to let you know, this client is in the beauty space. So it's very, very localized ads that we were doing for this client. So basically how it worked is we got 54 leads from this campaign. It was around 40 Rand per lead that we generated for the client. And the total spend on everything was around 2,178.20 cents. So yeah, as you guys can see, this works really well. So if you guys are a local business or you want to just get started with Facebook ads just in your local area, this is totally possible to do. You can start out with little as 200 Rand per day to 150 Rand per day. So yeah, let's jump into the video. Let's take a quick look how to set up your own campaign and then for you to get started as soon as possible. Okay, let's jump straight into it, how to set up that real basic campaign and to get started as soon as possible. So here's one of our ad accounts. As we see, our system is very similar to that. We just have a little bit of more extra options in the backend to make bookings a bit easier. But in essentials, our system is really exactly the same as I'm going to show you now. Super simple to use. Like when we got started with Vessel Media really running ads, we were doing exactly the same as what I'm going to show you now. So as you can see, we are doing it at the moment. Here's basically what we've been doing for the past week or so. And as you can see, we got 46 leads around there. Our leads is also quite cheap. So yeah, let's quickly jump into it. So just take note, this campaign of ours is a national campaign, so it's a bit different. So as you guys can see, we are running a bit higher budgets. But yeah, let's quickly get started so you guys can do a really low budget. Let's start with 150 Rand per day and show you guys how to be successful with that. So first thing that you can do is log into your ads manager, go to your dashboard here, and then hit create. Then what we're going to do is we're going to choose the lead objective. Then we're going to go to manual lead campaign. Then I'm going to quickly go and then we're going to set up our campaign up. So just make sure that you name this something that you know what it is. So just for this case, I'm just going to name it test. Then everything else, you can just leave it as it is. You can just go down to advanced campaign budget and set that to on. So basically what that means is if you're running more than one ad per ad set, Facebook will then go and actually allocate more budget to the more successful ads. So for example, you won't waste any money on ads that aren't converting. If they convert higher, Facebook will allocate the budget more to that ad. So as we said, we're going to do 150 Rand per day. Usually budget-wise, I always recommend around 200 to get started. But if you're really in a pinch and you're running, let's say, for example, a 10-kilometer radius or so for your local business, you can get away with around 150 Rand per day. We have helped businesses to really make a big success with around 150 Rand per day. So it's going to depend on what business you have. But if you're like totally like brick and mortar, that type of business, hair salon, beauty salon, you're doing diets type stuff, you're a trainer of some sort, let's say you're doing like these boot camp type styles things, this will work really good for you. All right, so budget is set, don't change anything else here. Then we're literally just going to go and hit next. Okay, so now let's quickly go and set up our ad. So also make sure to name your ad set. So basically, just so you let you know, you get the campaign, then inside your campaign you create your ad sets. And then inside your ad set, you create your ads. So basically the ad set is who we are targeting, and the ads then basically the creatives and the copy that's actually going out to the ads. So just name this something that you know. So let's just say, for example, this is going to be the first area that we target, #1. And then basically instant form should always be selected. Make sure the correct Facebook page is selected. Then leave everything else as is. Then you can scroll down to the audience control section. And then usually what I do is I just say switch to original audience options. Then you have a little bit more control about what's going on. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set up our range now. So let's say, for example, I want to run local booking ads for our ads agencies. And for example, we are based in Cape Town. So let's say we want to do, let's just say the CBD area. What you can do is you're going to go to location. And you can just type in Cape Town or your local area that you're looking for. So what you can do is you can actually play around with this till you find the exact place that you want to target. Look at this one. So what you can also do is if you want, you can also drop a pin. So I'm just going to drop a pin to make it a bit easier. Okay, there we go. So now what we're going to do is we want to make sure that it isn't too big because our budget isn't really that sizey. So let's take this down to 8. Let's take a look where we are. 8 is actually still quite broad, but usually what I'll recommend is start at it around 8. Unless you're like in Johannesburg or something like that, we have a very dense population around you. And then basically from 8, you can scale it up to 10, and from 10, you can go to 12, and from 12, you can go then up usually to around 15 or even a bit higher to around 16 or 17. So what I would usually recommend if you're doing 150 Rand, stay below 10. That's going to be the best value for money that you're going to be running. So as you see, this thing will also sometimes say you're going to get 0 leads. So what you guys could just take note of, Facebook wants to spend your money. So it is going to say this because it wants you to put in more budget to actually get more basic leads, because then they make more money. So you can just ignore this. All right, so our location is then set up. So let's say, for example, our age that we want to target is going to be, let's say it's around from, we know, for example, from our previous clients, usually a 21-year-old and older guys that can have business. So all genders, we're just going to leave it like this. If you are doing, for example, let's say a gym product, and you're only targeting women, you can just change this to women then. And then also language-wise, you can also play around with this. So let's say, for example, you are selling an Afrikaans product or you're selling something just for English people, just go ahead and change that in there as well and make sure that you choose the correct language option. So detailed targeting is where you're going to choose who you are actually looking for. So for example, what I would usually do if you're, for example, going this close, just keep it extremely broad, because there, for example, Cape Town has a bit more people in it. So as you can see, my audience size is quite big, so I can go and dim it down a bit more. But for example, if you are in, let's say, Klerksdorp or something like that, that's a bit of a smaller town, or Potch or something like that, and you're doing, like I said, let's take the boot camp, for example, something with fitness, you can literally just go set the age to the correct age, set the gender to the correct gender, and then don't do anything else targeting wise. Then you would basically skip the step and then go down to the next step. But let's say, for example, you are in Johannesburg or Cape Town and you do have quite a big audience like I have here, you can dim it down a little bit. Usually our sweet spot is we want to be above 30,000. So basically at the estimated audience size, it must be 30,000 or more. Otherwise, your area is going to be too small. So then you can expand a little bit until you get to around 30,000 plus. All right. So let's quickly take a look. So we want small business owners. That's who we are targeting. For example, we're going to use a behavior. And as you see, there we are exactly where we want to be, 39,000 to around 45,900. So that's a good amount for the budget that we're going to run. As I said, small budget is going to usually be a smaller audience. All right, make sure this section is unchecked. And then, as I said, languages, we are targeting everyone. So we're just going to leave it like this. So for example, we will play around with this as well. So we will test Afrikaans, we'll test English, etc., to see which of our audience and basically our ad sets perform the best. But when you start it, just keep it all languages if you want to target everyone. All right, so next, we're just going to skip, don't change anything in this area. We want to leave Facebook to make the decision where to get the people for us on their platforms. And so it makes it the easiest, and Facebook is really good at what they do. So let's just give them full control. Next. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set up our ad and basically just to get everything in, the creative ready. So this is what the people is going to see when they see your ad. So you must make sure that you have your offer ready, you have your copy ready, and you have your ad creative or your image or your video also ready to go, before you get to this stage. All right, so let's get started. So let's say this is going to be #1, as this is the first advert that we're going to test. Going to make sure we select our Instagram page because we're going to run on Facebook and Instagram. So usually when you do a Facebook ad, it runs on both the platforms. So let's quickly go down. So single image or video, usually that's going to be the one you're going to go with this type of budget. Don't even look at carousel, just do a single image or a video. If, for example, you're a restaurant or anything like that, you can do some nice walkthroughs of the food, stuff like that. And you can also use the system to get bookings for your restaurant, etc. This works well, as I said, for most brick and mortar businesses. Even if you are doing small type of services in a very localized area, this will also work for you. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to set up everything. So I'm just going to quickly go and import everything. And then from there, you guys will see the ad will be set up. Okay, so as you see, everything is set up. We imported all our graphics and our creatives and all that nice stuff. So let's quickly take a look. So basically, primary text is going to be your copy that you're going to insert here. That's going to be the base of your copy. So, for example, what I would usually say is create a few templates for yourself, so you always have something to work off of. If you guys are going to join the webinar, we'll show you guys some templates and etc. So you guys know exactly how to go and do this. Super simple to do. We don't have to complicate this. All right, so basically primary text is the text that's going to show up in this area right here. So we're going to go down. So basically headline is going to be this area that's going to be showing right here. And then description is going to be this area right here. And then basically the call to action, when you guys are running these type of ads, always make it book now. Don't test anything else, just start with book now. It's going to be the best call to action that you guys can test. We've tested thousands of these things over thousands of audience members. Book now still works the best. All right, so there we go. It's already inserted there. So then we are ready to go for it. Next, what you can go and do, which is actually quite important, is you need to go and create a form now. So basically, when people click book now, a form on Facebook is going to open. Facebook is going to actually pre-fill a lot of those info that the client has on their Facebook profile already into the form, so the client can basically just go and hit submit. Let me quickly show you how that works. I'll quickly show you what our form looks like, so you can get a bit of an idea. So you're just going to go click form, and then basically it's going to look like this when it opens. Okay, so usually what we'll do is let's do a quick run through about how to set up your form. We'll leave this on more volume from form type. Then on the intro, usually what you can do is you can also import another image right here if you need to, for it to display right here. So you can go ahead and do that. So basically we always just use the image from the ad, and then it basically pulls up right here. So what you can also go and do is a greeting. You can say get more meetings and bookings. So yours is going to maybe be like for sign up for our boot camp, something like that. And then book your consultation today, or book your strategy call today, book your free fitness meet with us today, something like that. Then we're going to go down to the next option. It's going to be questions. So this is really important. This is where you're going to get your leads information. So because we are working with businesses, for example, we usually know what info is the best for us to see the quality of the lead. So it's usually for us is full name, email, phone number, job title, and company name. So if you're, for example, a brick and mortar, you're probably going to be a business to consumer business. So, for example, you are going to basically just need full name, email, and phone number. And then you can also play around with these categories if you want more info. So what I always say is don't make it too difficult. For example, don't ask for a person's ID. Usually that's what I recommend. And don't get too technical with it, like street address and stuff like that. Like, as you guys know, in South Africa, we do have a lot of scams and stuff like that running. So just make sure your business always looks nice and formatted the way that it is. All right, so next what we're going to do is we're just going to close this. We're going to go to privacy policy. So for this, you will usually need a website or some sort of page that has your privacy policy on it that is hosted online. So this is basically just our privacy policy that we pasted in here. And the link is we just made a privacy policy. That's that link right there. All right, then next, message for leads. So this is going to happen after everyone has filled in the form. As they hit submit, this is the page they're going to come to. So usually right here is what we usually do is we direct them to a page that's basically offsite. So that's going to be like a calendar booking page, something like Calendly is the software that we usually use. You can also take a look at that. It's totally free to use if you just have one account. So make sure to go and play around with that. Or otherwise, what you can do is you can literally just say, thank you for making the booking. Just look out for one of our consultants is going to call you. You can put that in the description. Then you can maybe put view website and literally just put your website link in there. That'll be totally fine. And then at call to action, you can say view our website. And that will be more than enough just to get started with the system. Then let me quickly show you guys how to go and collect the leads. So after this is done, you will then just go and this. You will just go then and hit publish. So don't worry about any of this tracking stuff. You guys will stop right here when the form is made and it's selected and everything in your ads is ready to go. You're just going to hit publish. And then usually the review process takes around, usually what we see is on the long end around 12 hours. But if you, for example, try to post your ads in the evenings, it's going to be a bit longer that you're going to wait. So usually what I would recommend is paste it and go and save it as a draft and then publish it at around 12 o'clock in the day. So usually by around 4 o'clock, it will be active. And just so you guys know, most of your leads are going to come in usually in the mornings and in the afternoons. So, yeah, that's usually the best time. Usually we post our ads at around 12 to 1 o'clock. Then it gets time to be reviewed. And then it usually is live around 4 to 5 o'clock. All right. So then basically our ad is now live. Yeah, or it's in review stage. Everything we needed to do is done. It's basically now just up to Facebook to go and then review this ad that we created here. And then you will receive an email saying that it is active and that it's basically running. And you can also check back hourly and see what's the progress on it. So let me quickly show you guys where to go and collect your leads. So what you would do is you would go inside the ad campaign as well. So what you do is just click there, go into ad set. So let's say, for example, I want this one's leads. Just going to go click next. And then I'll just scroll a little bit. Then you guys can see here is 10 leads in this campaign. So you would just click it. And then you can also specify when you want the leads to be. And you can just hit download. And usually what I'll do is I'll just download so it depends on what you have. Most of us is going to use an Excel sheet. So just hit XLS. Just go ahead and download that. And then you see the download started. And that's it. When you guys open the list, you'll literally just use it on Excel. Simple as that. You'll get access to all of your leads. All right, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have found some value in this. As I said in the webinar, we're going to do a really full in-depth dive into how to go and set up your ads, how to set up your sales system, and then basically tie everything together that you can make as much money possible with as little ad spend as possible. All right, see you guys in the webinar. Have a nice one.